I'm your host, Locum23, and you're joining me for Edge of Extinction, Chapter 7. Between the pain in your arm and the worries about the Hermit, you sleep in fits and starts. Each time you wake, you instinctively reach out for Shadow, only to remember she's still missing. Then you worry about her until you drift off again. When you finally leave your tent the next morning, everyone else is already up. Apparently, you're the only one who's feeling restless. You look like you had a rough night. How are you holding up? Did you get any sleep last night? A little. Helga gave me something to help knock me out. You might want to talk to her. Pavel comes over to the two of you. Everyone's here. Let's go over the plan. If he's still bitter about losing the vote last night, he doesn't show it. Grace waits until everyone is gathered together in the church pews before she speaks. Last night we agreed to try and capture the Hermit alive. It won't be easy, he proved how dangerous he is, and we don't even know where to find him. But we've come up with a plan to lure him out. We know he's suffering from hallucinations and fever brought on by the toxins in his food. It's made him paranoid and obsessed with us. If we don't patrol for a few days, I think he'll eventually come to the cathedral to check on us. Starting tonight, we'll send lookouts to strategic locations outside the church to watch and wait for him to show up. Dag steps forward and deposits half a dozen walkie-talkies on the table. The lookouts can keep in touch with each other using these, coordinate our efforts. If we position ourselves right and stagger our shifts, we can use or have multiple eyes on every direction he could approach from. Once we spot him, we mark his location. We wait for him to camp, or follow him if he leaves. Joseph steps forward and holds up what appears to be a small black pistol. Tasers. We can use these to render him helpless and take him alive. When he decides to rest, we surround his location, wait for nightfall, then move in. If we're lucky, we catch him sleeping. We're due for some luck. So far, everything that could go wrong with the Hermit has. We have to get a break somewhere. I hope you're right, but if not, it could get ugly. We want to take him alive, but we know it's risky. Everyone, if you have to defend yourselves, don't hesitate. Grace and Joseph look around at the rest of the group, trying to gauge their reaction to the plan. At first, no one says anything, and then Pavel steps forward. I still think it's much safer to just kill the Hermit, but if we're going to try and take him alive, this is the way to do it. It's not the perfect plan, but it's the best we've got. We'll need 5 lookouts to cover all approaches. Anna, Pavel, Marco, Sophia, and me. Wait a second. Don't you want me out there? Normally yes, but you're still recovering from getting shot. Once the lookouts are in position, they have to stay there until the Hermit shows up. They could be waiting for days. We didn't think you'd be up for it in your condition. Doing a diamond. If you think I'm sitting this one out, you're crazy. If anything goes wrong with this plan, I'm the one who you want to clean up the mess. John's right. We need our best people out there. All of them. Okay, John, take Marco's place. From his mere reaction, Marco is clearly relieved rather than offended. He gets to stay indoors, be warm, snuggle up with his big fluffy sweater. Start packing your gear. We head out after dark. As you gather your inventory for your stakeout, sleeping bag, food, gas stove, you can't help but think back on the days before you reach Stromstad. You aren't looking forward to sleeping outside again, but if all goes well, it should only be for a few days. Looking around, you can see the worry in everyone's face as you're about to head out. Reassure them. I know we're all scared, but it would be stupid to not be. But I believe we can do this. I believe in us. We have a plan. If we stick to it, if everyone does their part, this can work. Nobody replies, but you can feel some of the tension slipping away from the group. With Grace and Lee, you and the rest of the lookouts head into the cold, dark night. Question. How do you cover up your boot tracks of 5 of you slipping out into the night that he might see? Didn't think this one out. Group soon splits up, scattering to the locations Grace assigned you. You eventually settle into a room in which has once a small bed and breakfast overlooking the southwest side of the cathedral. From your vantage point, you can see all the roads leading to the church from the south, west, and east. A few minutes later, your walkie-talkie crackles as Grace checks in with each of the lookouts. John, checking in, I'm here. Copy that. How are you holding up? Room service is a little slow. I'll need to talk to the manager. Still waiting on that sandwich I ordered. I guess that's why your hotel got all those one-star reviews. Pavel, Sophia, and I will take first watch. Anne and John get some rest. We'll call you when your shift starts. Sleep is hard to come by. Instead, you cycle between nervous anticipation and utter boredom as you wait for the Hermit to show himself. It's late the next afternoon when Pavel's voice comes over the walkie-talkie.
I see him, he's here. Heading into a 2-story office building. Got a lot of gear with him. Looks like he's settling in for a long stay.
Then we hit him tonight. Keep eyes on him. If he doesn't move, we rendezvous at 3 a.m. The next 12 hours seem to stretch on forever. As you wait, you feel... nothing. You feel strangely numb about what is to come, as if it's your natural fight-or-flight response has been shut off. Maybe this is a good thing. Keep my emotions in check. Don't do anything stupid. When you finally meet up with the others, you still feel unnaturally calm as Grace goes over the plan one last time. Pavel, Sophia, head around the back. We want to cut off all exits. The rest of us will go to the front door. Crouching low, you race through the darkness to the building's front door. Once Pavel and Sophia radio they are in position, Grace gives the go signal. The three of you enter the building, weapons and flashlights drawn as you scatter to cover more ground. You're working your way room by room through the ground floor when you hear gunshots and shouts erupt from upstairs. You hear heavy footsteps above you, then someone thumps down on a nearby set of stairs. Readying your taser, you slip into the shadows and wait. A second later, the Hermit comes down the stairs and runs right past you. You step from the shadows and fire, unleashing 50,000 volts into his back. He grunts in pain and then drops to the floor unconscious. As you step up and kick the gun away from his side, Grace rushes into the scene. You did it! You got him! How are the others? I heard gunshots. Is there anyone hurt? I don't know. We better check in. She pulls a walkie-talkie from her hip and clips the transmit button. Everybody stand down. We got the Hermit. It's over. Is everyone okay? Pavel's been shot. We're upstairs. There's blood everywhere. Go. I'll keep an eye on the Hermit. You race up the stairs to find Anna and Sophia crouched over Pavel. He's lying on the floor, grimacing in pain. You kneel beside him, his jacket and shirt him and unbutton to reveal a ragged, thumb-sized hole in his abdomen. You're no expert, but it doesn't look good. Anna and Sophia have packed the wound with fabric, but blood is still oozing out.
I can't feel my legs.
Pavel's voice is barely more than a whisper. His eyes are unfocused, and his face is pale and soaked in sweat. Don't. Safe is your strength. Don't speak. Try to lie still.
I'll be good. I'll be still soon. I can feel it. Take care of Anna for me.
You'll be fine. Shut up, you big baby. His eyes close, his breathing stop. Anna lets out a shriek and throws herself on the ground beside you. Oh, come on, it doesn't happen that quick.
Help him! Do something!
Sophia looks down at Pavel, then over at you as she slowly shakes her head.
No.
Okay, we're gonna try. They're pounding on Pavel's chest, knowing it's a futile effort. Well, I mean, we tried. After a few minutes with no response, Anna puts her hand on your shoulder and you stop. She gets up without speaking and simply stands there, staring at Pavel's body. Grace arrives a moment later. She tries to put a comforting hand on Anna's shoulder, but Anna shrugs it off. Come on, let's get him back to the church. Grace radios ahead, and the others are waiting for you when you get back. You hold open the doors. Grace and Sophia march the Hermit in. Ooh, crazy eyes. Joseph and Marco rush up to help with Pavel's body. Let's bring him downstairs. He should be with David and Lewis. We'll take the Hermit to a room in the back. We'll post a guard, keep him tied to a chair until the toxins leave his system. The others all head off, leaving you and Anna alone. She still seems dazed, and you realize she hasn't said a word the entire journey back. Suddenly she turns back around as if she's about to leave the church. Are you okay? Is there anything I can do?
I just want to be alone right now.
She brushes past you and heads for the door, then disappears out into the night. Anna returns a few hours later, but it's clear she isn't ready to talk as she slips away alone to her tent. Exhausted, you head off to bed. Settling in, you think about Shadow again. You're so used to her curling up beside you at night that it's difficult to sleep without her. Despite the husky's absence, you're on the verge of drifting off when you hear Joseph calling softly from outside your tent. "Thanks, Joseph. I was trying to sleep. John, may I speak with you a minute?" "Leave Anna alone, okay?" What? I guess so. "I'm awake now, so let's talk." "I can't stop thinking about what happened today. I was the one who wanted to take the Hermit alive. Pavel's death is partly my fault." "It's nobody's fault. Sometimes bad things happen. We just have to find a way to go on." "But how can we go on if we can't learn from our mistakes? I thought I was doing the right thing, the moral thing. Now I'm not so sure. Maybe the world we live in now isn't one where we can afford the luxury of ethics. Maybe our only choice is to be ruthless and self-serving. Maybe morally, survival is all that matters." I don't believe that. Pragmatism seems like the obvious, easy choice, but sometimes the hardest path is the one worth taking. Maybe the others don't see that yet, but they will, as long as we keep believing it. "Thank you, John. I needed to hear that. I was having a crisis of faith." "And you're right. Survival alone isn't enough. We should strive for something beyond our basest of instincts." "I'm sorry. This is a lot for me to take in. I'm sure you're exhausted. Good night." As Joseph wanders off, you return to your tent and crawl in the sleeping bag. You're out the instant your head hits the pillow. Over the next few days, Anna's condition doesn't change. She remains silent, withdrawn, despite anyone's attempts to talk to her. There's still no sign of Shadow, but your arm is healed enough that you plan to head out looking for her today. As you're finishing breakfast, you look up to see Grace leading the Hermit over towards you. He no longer looks like a disheveled madman. His clothes have been cleaned, his hair is combed, and his demeanor is one of calm reserve. "John, I'd like you to meet Stig." "Oh, look, his crazy eyes are gone, and his beard is gone as well. You know, to give him a humane look, because it's like saying bearded people are crazy." "Pleased to meet you, John." His voice is higher than you expected and doesn't have much of an accent. Stig extends an arm, offering you his hand. Shake his hand. "I'm glad to see you're feeling better." Stig has medical training. He's a doctor. Surgeon, actually, though paramedic training might be more useful in current circumstances. "How much do you remember? Do you have any sense of what happened while you were suffering from the fever?" "Grace told me about David, Pavel. I'm so sorry for your loss. I know how much it cost you all to help me, but that debt can never be repaid." "You're a doctor. You might repay it somehow." "But now that you've taken me in, I will do everything I can to help the group, to try and make it up in some small way for what the Hermit did." "It wasn't your fault. You were sick. You didn't know what you were doing. It doesn't change what happened. That doesn't bring back the dead. I don't expect any of you to forgive me. Not now. Maybe not ever, I understand that. All I ask is that you give me a chance. Let me prove I can be an asset to the group moving forward." "You'll have plenty of opportunity to do that. We're way behind on our schedule to go to the Seed Vault. We need to find another ship, stock it with supplies, not to mention that Mari's baby will be here soon. Shadow's still missing too. I want to head out today and start the search." Grace doesn't say anything, but she and Stig exchange a long look. "You think she's dead? You don't think she can survive out there alone, do you?" "It's not that. I know she's smart, resourceful. I know how important she is to you and to the group. Having Shadow around has been great for morale, but before she showed up, we thought Mari might be suicidal. And if it wasn't for her, the polar bear might have killed me. I literally owe her my life. It's just that we have no idea where to even start looking. I already asked Stig about it. My memories from when I had the fever are blurred, confused. It's like trying to recall a dream, or rather a nightmare. I do have one memory, though, of a demon chasing me, a creature of fur and teeth and eyes. I hid from the beast inside a building for hours. I'm not positive, but I think I could take you there. Let's go. This is the only lead I got, and I already waited long enough. Stig glances over Grace, who nods her assent. 20 minutes later, you and Stig are skied side by side through the snowy Tronstedt streets. Your injured arm aches with every push of the poles, but Stig sets an easy pace so you can keep up. And we can cross the bridge. Hopefully we can get there before dark. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate you helping me. It's the least I could do. I know it isn't much, but maybe finding Shadow is one small step in proving to you that I belong here. You continue for several miles. Suddenly Stig stops. He turns around slowly, carefully taking in his surroundings. It feels familiar. I think this might be where the Hermit hid out when the ice demon chased him. Can you remember anything? There's got to be something more you can recall. I'm trying. I will continue trying. Slip off your skis and start to scout on foot. After a few minutes, you come across a faint impression of a paw print in the hard-packed snow. Examine the tracks. The paw prints appear to be the right size, but they also seem to be random mess coming and going in all directions. But as you study them more closely, you eventually find a set of tracks leading off in one direction. You follow them to a dead-end alley. In the corner, you see a small, dug-out depression in the snow where she burrowed in at night, but you don't see any fresh prints. John? You look up to see the husky standing at the entrance of the alley. She's staring at Stig, crouched low with hackles raised and growling softly. Shadow! Over here, girl, it's me! At the sound of your voice, her attention shifts over to you and her demeanor instantly changes. Her ears perk up, her tail starts to wag, and she barrels towards you at full speed. Urge her on. Faster, girl! Faster! Come on! Running at full speed, she leaps in your arms and knocks you down. Pinning you to the ground, she licks your face furiously. Eventually, you wriggle free, crouching on one knee. You pull out a piece of jerky and give it to her. She gobbles up the treat. You check her for injuries. Is she hurt? She smells like she's been rolling in manure, but otherwise she seems fine. Good. I'm glad she's okay. Drawn by the sound of Stig's voice, Shadow turns her attention to him. She barks once, a sharp, angry sound. Stig takes a step back, hands raised. He's a friend, Shadow. It's okay, girl. He's on our side. You toss a piece of jerky to Stig, who catches it midair. Come on, give it to her. Stig crouches down, carefully holds out the jerky. Husky hesitates and warily approaches. Once she gets close, she snatches the jerky from his hand and rushes back over to your side and gobbles it down. Do you want to pet her? Let's not push it. Besides, it's about time we head back. I found my puppy! I found my puppy! When you get back to the cathedral, you and Shadow are swallowed up in a crowd of eager well-wishers. Chief among them is Maury, who pushes to the front with surprising boldness. Despite the swollen belly of her advanced pregnancy, she crouches down and starts showering the husky with pats and scratches. I'm so happy you are back, Shadow. And thank you for finding her, John. Yeah, Stig helped. I can't take all the credit. If Stig hadn't helped me, I would have never found her. Thank you, Stig. She goes back to petting the dog, and Stig gives you a profound, not grateful nod. After a few minutes, Maury finally stands up and steps aside, giving others a chance to welcome Shadow back. Eventually, the crowd begins to disperse until it's just you and the husky left alone. Exhausted, you head off to your tent. Shadow follows close at your heels. You crawl inside your sleeping bag. The husky snuggles up beside you, pressing herself tight, as if afraid you might disappear if she breaks contact. You fall asleep almost instantly, but sometime later, you awaken by a cool, moist nose prodding at you. Go to sleep, girl, it's late. At the sound of your voice, she starts to prance around with restless energy. She gives a short, soft yeep. Take her to play. Make it amazing. Settle her down. Hey. We already spent diamonds going out and saving the Hermit, who's a doctor, so clearly she wants to play. The excitement of coming home has given her energy to burn. Not tonight, girl. I'm too tired. Reach out and scratch her ears, trying to calm her restless spirit. After a few minutes, you roll over and close your eyes. You hear her give a heavy sigh. Like all women disappointed in bed. Sorry. And she pads around in a tight circle, kneading a small depression in the blankets lining the floor of the tent. Finally, she curls up beside you. It doesn't take long before you're both snoring contentedly. I had to, okay? She's a dog, okay? Still disliked by Grace, that's nice. Trusted by Joseph, Anna is still neutral, even though literally I've been there for her. Ari likes me, Stig likes me, and 3 people are dead. It's okay, we got Stig, he's a doctor. Slowly, as the group is dying, the new people are starting to like me, so who cares? Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, Discord, and if you'd like to support me and my content. And without further ado, I will work on getting the other chapters up as soon as possible. I am sorry for those who are into the series that are like, wow, you're finally coming back. Yeah, I'm sorry about being sick and other things, okay? Like the holiday season and all that going on, and plus me being sick. I do apologize, but I will work on getting this stuff caught up as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Peace out.